Hello again, everybody. I'm Snapper Lancaster, welcoming you to another edition of the Central Alabama High School Sports Show. This is the first show we're doing for the fall 2015. Of course, football season's already started. We're a couple of weeks into it. We'll be talking with football coaches. We'll be talking with volleyball coaches. Might get us a cross-country coach or two in this fall segment of our programming this fall. So looking forward to it. And as fate would have it, football, the big sport in town right now. And of course, we've got some of the usual suspects that are off to a fast start again. And namely, we're talking about teams like Hoover, undefeated 2-0, off to another great start. The Clay Chalkville Cougars, the defending state champions in Class 6A, they're off to a great start, 2-0. And Pleasant Grove, who made the finals last year in 5A, they're playing very well too. And another thing we'll be talking about tonight, as a matter of fact, we're going to have two coaches tonight that are new coaches here in the Birmingham-Jefferson County area. They have taken over at two of the bigger school systems, one the Shays Valley Mounties and the other the Thompson Warriors. And of course, we're talking about David Partridge, who is now the new coach of the Shays Valley Mounties, and Mark Freeman, who has taken over for the Thompson Warriors. As a matter of fact, they're off to a fast start. They had 2 wins already in this young season. Last year they were winless. So Coach Freeman's got that program headed in the right direction early, and of course they'll hope to build on that as the season progresses. And like I talked about, this is the time of year when we'll be talking to not only football coaches but volleyball coaches and outdoor track or cross-country coaches. So we got a lot in store for you, a great fall lineup. Looking forward to being with each and every week. So sit back, we're going to take a quick break. We'll have our first guest. Don't you go away.
Enjoy the summer even more with great savings from Sarah Mazda.
That's right, this is your summer to save. Get spectacular summer savings on a new Mazda. Save on new 2015 Mazda 3s, only $159 a month. Mazda 6s, only $179 a month. Or take the family on a summer trip in a Mazda CX-5 for $199 a month. And during Mazda's summer drive event, get a new Mazda and your first 2 payments are on us. Plus, all new Sarah Mazdas come with our lifetime warranty and Sarah signature.
Get incredible summer savings at Sarah Mazda,
where we'll put you in the driver's seat.
Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven. A taste of heaven is always best. Now you know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven.
Good driver discount, multi-car discount, good student discount. Helping you save money on car insurance is just part of the service you get from State Farm agent Jack Traffinstead. Whether an accident or a simple question, Jack and his staff get you the help you need. And that's the value only a State Farm agent can provide. Call Jack Traffinstead today. 40 million drivers already know nobody gives more discounts to more drivers than State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. Oh, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
And folks, welcome back. And as we talked about earlier, we're going to be visiting with two brand new coaches on the Birmingham coaching scene this year. And joining me in this first segment of the program is the new head coach, Shays Valley High School, David Partridge. Coach Partridge, good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
As we get this interview started, tell us a little bit about your background, how you got into coaching, and what has led you to Shays Valley.
I'm a son of a coach, so I've grown up in football. My dad coached for 32 years, I think, 31 years. So I've been around it all my life. And actually, when I was in college, I ended up wasn't quite big enough to play. So I ended up helping coach at Huffman High School, where I graduated from and played for my dad. And So that got my feet wet. I really went to college, I wasn't going to be a coach. But I got in there and enjoyed it, enjoyed being around the kids. And so I went into coaching and started out at Warrior High School with Tim Sanders, who's the head coach at John Carroll now. And went from there, went to Shades Valley from 90 to 93 with Robert Higginbotham, who's the head coach. And left and went to Leeds as a defensive coordinator with Tim Sanders again. He was the head coach there at Leeds at that time. And then I went and started 2 new schools with Tony Pugh. We went to Clay Chalkville first, and I was the defensive coordinator there. Then we went to Oak Mountain, and I was the offensive coordinator. So from there, went back to where I had lived all my life with my married life at Trussville, and went to Trussville for 10 years and got to coach both of my sons there. So it's a good, and that's kind of led me into that. And this opportunity just came out at the right time. My youngest son had graduated, and I knew what a special place Shades Valley is and could be, and so I jumped at the opportunity to come back. And fortunately, Miss Blankenship, the principal there, gave me the opportunity to come back and coach, and we're trying to get this thing rolling.
Well, I tell you what, Coach, I know it's got to be an adjustment for you as a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
How about your coaching staff? Are they primarily people that were there, or have you brought in some of your people? Or?
We got 4 coaches on staff that were previously on staff, and then we brought in some new ones. We brought in a new offensive coordinator, and Jeremiah Millington. He actually was a player when I was at Hewitt-Trussville, was a quarterback there. And my son was already there coaching last year, coached secondary, and he's our defensive coordinator, Matt Partridge. Okay. So we got 2 new coordinators, and those guys have just been around me, and they know what my expectations are and how I want to do things. So that kind of made it a little bit easier than trying to train up coaches too.
I was going to say familiarity with coaches is very important. Mm-hmm. When you can have a continuity on your coaching staff, it's a plus for you. Now, we're talking about that, the transformation, you and your coaches. How about the kids? You know, that's the next most important thing is kids have to adapt to a new coach. You have to adapt to them, find out who they are, what they're all about and all that. How's that going? It's
going well. It was a little, you know, because of the change is hard. Change is hard for anybody, and it's especially hard for young guys. And so they had to get used to the change and get used to me. And everybody does things a little differently. And neither one's necessarily good or bad. It's just you have to do things like you want to do things and what you believe in. So my ways were a little different. And then it so happened, I guess, as luck would have it, I came in with. We graduated last year, I think 33 seniors, and so we have some guys that are a little inexperienced, and we're having to adjust that way too and gain some experience. And unfortunately, we played 2 top 10 teams to start the season off, but we've held our own in both of those games. And the thing I'm most proud of with those guys is that our guys have played from kickoff until the last second. It really didn't matter what the score was, and that's really all I can ask of them, and that'll pay off as we go through the year. Right.
I'm one of these kind of guys that I believe sometimes you can learn just as much, if not more, from losing than you can winning. It's easy to be a winner, but when you lose, you got to figure out, make adjustments on how to make yourself better, not only as an individual, but as a team. Talk about your philosophy, Coach, if you would, for a few moments, on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. It seems like head coaches are primarily offensive-minded or defensive-minded. Would you fit in one of those categories?
Well, I've done both. Like I said, I was an offensive coordinator for 5 years and really started my career when the first time I was at Shades Valley, I was more of an offensive coach than I was a defensive coach. Coached quarterbacks, and I've coached quarterbacks and DBs most of my career, but I've coached every position that's on the field throughout the 31 years that I've coached. So I don't know that I fit into either category. I guess if you ask people around, they would tell you that I was a defensive coach because that's what I've done for the last 11 years in a row. And I enjoy both. You know, I was a high school quarterback, and so I enjoy both. I don't know that you could pigeonhole me. I think I can do both. But you know, there's good and bad to both. The defensive side, you know, it's a struggle on that. If you're not playing well, you can't get out until they score. On the offensive side, you know, you can go 3 and out and punt. So, you know, sometimes it's better to be on the offensive side there. But Our philosophies on offense, we're trying to up tempo. We want to get as many snaps as we can. We want to establish the run and try to take our shots down the field. Defensively, in today's game, you have to be multiple. You have to be able to play. We can get in a 4-man front. We can get in a 3-man front. You have to play multiple coverages. When I first started in this thing, you could sit in 1 or 2 coverages and you would be okay. If you sit in 1 or 2 coverages now, people will pick you apart.
Right.
So you have to be able to disguise things and be a little more multiple. So that's what we try to do. And defensively, and really we're trying to establish this offensively, we want to play up-tempo, fast, and harder and more effort than the other team. And defensively, everybody says 11 to the ball, but it's the difference between saying it and doing it.
Right.
So,
well, I tell you what, of course, I'm familiar with Shades Valley because I do the play-by-play for Vestavia, so we play those guys every year. And the one thing that I've learned about Shades Valley, one, they're going to line up and hit you, and two, they always have some great athletes over there. So I know it's somewhat of a transformation period for both the coaches and the kids, but it's a growing period that can be a positive one as well. And I know with your background and the athletes you have there, you'll get this thing rolling. And the thing about it is if you're going to be a little weak out of the gate, that's where you want it to happen. And generally you want to sort of, if you want to get better from game to game. That's what coaches hope happen. And by the time the season's in, you never know. There's 4 spots up for grabs, and if you can play pretty decent football, it's pretty easy to maybe get one of those. And I hope that happens for you. Coach, awfully good to see you, to have you back coaching around here, and we'll be watching you and seeing how you and your team, what kind of year you have, and then of course I'll see you toward the end of the season.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
But we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, 3 outstanding athletes have come to visit with us. We'll be visiting with them in just a minute.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. Oh, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
The next time you need electrical work, whether it be commercial or residential, you need to call Huffman Electrical Contractors. A company that's been in business for over 35 years. They've served clients not only locally in the Birmingham area and all over the state, but have clients outside the state of Alabama as well. Whether it's a new building or remodeling an older building or home, they can handle the job for you. Once again, that's Huffman Electrical Contractors. The number to call is 205-661-5005. That's 205-661-5005. Where at Huffman Electrical Contractors, a satisfied customer is always their #1 objective.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm.
Saved $760.
Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to call Alan Gurdeau in Trussville today.
Land of Frost Premium is America's best-selling 1-pound deli pouch, now available in 12 delicious flavors, including new flavors of mesquite turkey and cotto salami. High school athletes across the country ask for Land of Frost by name. These great items are available at your local grocer, including Piggly Wiggly, Food Giant, Western supermarkets, and many more. Land of Frost also makes other varieties of lunch meats, including deli shaved bistro and sub sandwich kits. Land of Frost is a proud sponsor of youth sports as well. And folks, welcome back. In this segment, we're going to be talking with 3 outstanding young athletes from the Shades Valley Mounties. Sitting closest to me, Khalil Melton, senior linebacker. Sitting close to, next to him is Josh McKenzie, who's also a senior wide receiver. And then the tall gentleman in the center, that's Claude Newell, a senior quarterback. So, guys, I guess the first question that I would ask, and we'll start with you, Khalil. Has it been a transformation to a new coach and Has it been a pretty smooth transition for you and your teammates? Talk about that for a second.
Yes, sir. Like on the first day of spring, it was all about learning the new material and how Coach P wanted it as is versus us and Coach Smith. And Coach P, he brought along a lot more, he brought us more of a scheduled time, so it was a big adjustment versus us just separating. So now, like the team, our practices, they're more coordinated together.
Okay. Okay, so that's been a little bit of an adjustment for you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, how about you, Josh? How's it been for you?
I enjoyed the process. It was a big difference, but I believe he brought in like a more family-oriented kind of team, and he cares about us. He really cares about us, and he wouldn't tell us no stories. Just he'd tell us how it is, and that he really cares about us.
Well, the thing that I was going to ask too, and from you saying that, it's one of the most important elements for a team is team chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's like if you guys like each other and you're not ever squabbling, not that there won't be squabbles, I didn't mean that, but if y'all all get along, really like each other, and team chemistry is good, then you have a better chance not only being better as an individual, but better as a team, right?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
with that thought in mind, Claude, what do you think? Do you think that the chemistry on this team is good and y'all have a chance to be the best you can be from that standpoint?
Yeah, I really think our chemistry got better from spring to where we are now, from just being more of a team and family, coming together, sitting with each other and all that, just hanging out, just talking about stuff, school, after school, stuff like that.
Well, I know all of you guys are seniors, so the one thing that I would ask you, being the quarterback, you're the one that sort of makes the offense go. Are you a dual threat quarterback? Are you a better thrower than runner, or a better runner than thrower? Talk about your game.
I think I'm a better thrower than runner because I don't really like to get hit that much. So.
Well, I like an honest man. I don't know many quarterbacks that do like to get hit.
Yeah, so I like to really air the ball out.
So in this offense, you get a chance to do that pretty good bit. Well, that's good. Another thing I'd like to ask athletes as well, and we'll start with you, Khalil, is there one certain team or two certain teams that you really look forward to playing during the season, almost a natural rivalry?
No, sir.
You don't care who it is, just show up and you're going to buckle up and go.
One game at a time.
Oh my goodness, politician written all over you. But that, Coach preaches that, but there's a reason for it, because sometimes we have these tendencies to look ahead sometimes, especially if you looking forward to a certain a team you might overlook or might not be as sharp as you ought to be. So the one at a time is a great attitude. Josh, how about you? Is there anybody in particular?
Kind of with Khalil, it's a process. We're trying to get better week by week, and this week we got Centerpoint, so Centerpoint team on my mind right now. So.
Right. Well, I'm sure the coach enjoys hearing that kind of talk. How about you, Claude?
I'm with these two guys right here. With what they saying is one game at a time. Just focus on the team that we play on Friday that week.
Well, let me ask you this, because I ask this to a lot of athletes and get varied answers, but some athletes enjoy playing on the road more than they do at home. And let me tell you why. Of course, we love that home cooking. All right, I understand that. But they say there's a little less pressure on the road. And a lot of them prefer to play the games. They feel more free, like there's not as much expected out of them or as much pressure to put on them. So with that thought in mind, does that bother you guys one way or the other? Khalil, we'll start with you.
No, sir.
It doesn't? So, or are you a guy that would rather play at home though, or it don't matter?
Honestly, I play wherever field is located.
That's another good answer. That's what Coach wants to hear too. How about you, Josh?
I enjoy playing home because we have the home crowd, all the energy. And away, I love get a good tempo going, just hit the other crowd, just get silent all of a sudden. Then I mean, east side get a good feeling, but
Right.
yeah, I enjoy home mostly.
Okay. Claude, how about you?
I really like playing away because it's like like my game. It steps up when I'm playing away because you can silence the crowd easily by just scoring.
You make a very good point. I was going to say a lot of times a hostile crowd becomes a whole lot hostile if your team is taking the game over, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Another question that I always enjoy asking too is like, first of all, Khalil, you're a linebacker.
Yes,
Is
sir.
there a collegiate or professional linebacker that you think that, boy, one day that's the kind of player I want to be?
Honestly, it's not a linebacker. He's a strong safety, but he inspires me a lot because he comes down, he drops to his coverage, and he's a team player.
Who is that?
Landon Collins.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's a pretty good guy to want to mold your game after.
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
So, like you said, what he does, he seems to have that all-around game where he takes care of just what he needs to take care of, right?
Yes, sir.
How about you, Josh?
My favorite football player is just D'Anthony Thomas. I got my number after him, number 6, and I like the speed. I'm a speed guy, so that's how I model my game after D'Anthony Thomas.
I tell you what, the way I look at it when I talk to young athletes about that, if we can be just this much of what that athlete is, chances are you're going to be a pretty good athlete.
Yes,
So that's great. How about you, Claude?
I really like to model my game after 2 quarterbacks, Tom Brady and Peyton Manning.
Really?
Just the way they like to sit in the pocket and just tear defense coverages up.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, if you're just like that if you're about that good, then you're going to have a successful senior season, I guarantee you. But I know you've gotten off to a rough start. You've lost a couple of games, but you played pretty good football in those games. So that's got to give you incentive with the region games starting to sort of think that we can get back on the right track. And the region games are the ones that really count. Is that the way you look at it, Khalil?
Yes, sir.
And not that you put a series of games over others, but there are some that are more important than others. All right, in the classroom, all you guys are seniors. And I'll ask you first, Khalil, what do you hope to do one day? I hope you go to college and maybe major in whatever, but what do you think that life holds for you out there? What would you like to do?
After college, after high school, I plan on going to college and majoring in sports science, and then attending college again for my orthopedic physician assistance program.
Yeah.
And therefore I can be able to help out doctors like Dr. A.G. and Dr. Lemak over at Lemak and Dr. Ortega over at Champions, and pursue my living from there.
Well, I guarantee you that's a great field to be in, and if you're an athlete and love that, that's even more incentive for you, isn't it?
Yes,
How about you, Josh?
I'm kind of with him. I like the physical therapy. I just want to stay around sports a lot, man. Other than that, I like the law enforcement. It's probably my second choice, but other than that, physical therapist and law enforcement.
Okay. How about you, Claude?
I really want to major in mechanical engineering because I have to use my hands and I can really fix stuff around the house and like cars and stuff, computers.
Well, good. All right, guys, a question I enjoy asking young athletes as well is, what do you like most about your football experience and what do you like least? And we'll start with you, Khalil.
My favorite part about playing football is being able to be the voice on defense. Because with a silent defense, you're a dead defense. So you have to talk, communicate. That's key. And my least, I don't really have a least because I'm more of a high motor guy and I believe in second chances. So I always look as if your next play can be your best play. I have a short-term memory.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Just like, let's say a bad play, you don't let it haunt you. You let it go and then on to the next one, right?
Yes, sir.
How about you, Josh?
I really like to make my team proud. I don't want to let them down for anything, but that's probably my favorite thing to do. Just do anything to make them proud, and then worst thing, just let them down.
Right,
Just do
right.
something that's
Claude,
something the team wouldn't do.
My really favorite part is just being a leader on and off the field. Just talking on the field, having quick tempo with the offense and stuff. My least part will be not being vocal. Sometimes I don't really be vocal when I need to be.
Right. Well, guys, we've only got about a minute left, and this is a question I always enjoy asking athletes. To this point in your young lives, who's been the most inspirational person or persons?
My siblings and my mom.
Good. Josh?
Probably my father. Yeah, my father was a good role model to me.
Okay.
My parents.
Okay. Well, listen, guys, like I said, you got off to an 0-2 start. That's okay. What counts now is what we do now that the region's got here, because as long as you can put together a few wins, there's 4 spots up there. Yes, and I don't see why Shades Valley can't grab one of those spots. Do y'all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I know that new coach and everything, the systems, offense and defense, they're going to come together. You guys will have a good rest of the season, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming by.
Right,
Folks, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. Another coach. Don't you go away. We're back on the road.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm.
Saved $760.
Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to call Ted Townley in Homewood today.
Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven. A taste of heaven is always best. Now you know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
And folks, as we start this next segment, once again, I reminded you that we had 2 new coaches here in the Birmingham area that we're visiting with tonight. And the other one is with me now. And of course, we're talking about Mark Freeman of the Thompson High Warriors. And Coach, good to see you.
Good to be here. Thank you.
As we start this interview off, tell us a little bit about your background and what's led you back here to Thompson High School.
Well, I started off, I believe, in 1998 at Bessemer Academy, and we went there for 10 years and had a lot of great memories and a lot of blessed days there. And then we moved to Gulf Shores and ended up going to Spanish Fort for 4 years. And Dr. Vickers is school superintendent at Saraland when I was at Spanish Fort, and I saw what they did at Saraland, the way that they aggressively went about developing Saraland's school system. And so when he got up here, he contacted me, and our year just got over, and we had won 2 state championships, and really I felt like we would have won it last year if our quarterback didn't get hurt. We had never lost a game with that kid at quarterback, and was 20-0 and had won about 30 straight games, and so everything was great. And he went down and just had some time to think about where I was as far as a coach, and you know, the Thompson deal. I always wondered, you know, about Thompson, why, you know, things didn't ever seem to get over the top there. And so as I looked into it, it just was a situation with Dr. Vickers there, and then, you know, the challenge of what it was, and he was going to make it where I thought it was a good opportunity to come up and come back to Birmingham and try to be part of being something special.
Well, I know that your reputation, your background, and all that, but once again, you're coming to a new school, and so there's always adjustment for the coaches and the kids. Talk about that adjustment, how it's been, because it seems like from the outside looking in, it's probably been about as smooth a transition as you could ever have.
It has been. It's been great. I was able to bring, I think, 4 of my guys in January when I came in, and that time of year, what I found out doing this for years is that time of year I kind of get to be a normal guy with my kids. You know, when we go to spring training from then on, I kind of have to be the guy that the ball drops with and have to be the guy that makes some tough decisions. And that time right there, having those guys there, it gives me a chance to be, you know, just a guy that can talk to my players and prove to them that we're genuine, that we really do care about them, and they get to know us. And you can't ask a kid to play for you if they don't think you care about them and love them. I don't think that successful programs, I don't think that you can fool kids anymore. And I was able to bring in guys that I knew had been successful other places. So, you know, what we're doing now as far as off-season and all, it's what we've done for 15 years. And it's always worked for us. It's worked everywhere we've been. And it will work here at Thompson. And just how quick it gets there is kind of up to the kids, and we're trying to prove to them that if they believe in themselves, that great things can happen.
Now I know we, and when I say we, I'm talking about Vestavia because I do the play-by-play for them. We know about Thompson, and we're aware of the success or lack of it that they've had, and sometimes you wonder because you know the athletes have been there. And that's not to say that they weren't giving their best back then, but for whatever reason, something was missing. Mm-hmm. And sometimes a change, and you've been around this sport long enough to know that sometimes change can be a very positive mm-hmm. thing. And going back to your assistant coaches, I think people don't realize, even in high school athletics, how important the familiarity and the continuity of coaches mm-hmm. that you've had through the years mm-hmm.
Have been
to you. Coach, now talking about your team, you're off to a 2-0 start, and maybe that surprised a few people. I have to be one of those that I'll tell you honestly, it didn't surprise me too much for the simple reason I know your background, and I knew there were athletes down there, and maybe just the two needed to get together, mm-hmm. you know, that kind of deal. But I know it's the early part of the season. Talk about your team, offensive, defensive side. What type of offense do you like to run, and where's the strong suit on your defense and that kind of thing?
Well, you know, offensively, everywhere I've been, it always starts with quarterback. And when we start talking about quarterback, of course, everything is offensive and defensive line scrimmage. If you can't win the offensive and defensive line scrimmage, it really don't matter what you do. So before I go into what I think helps us be successful is we're going to be as good as our offensive line is, and they're getting better every week. But our offense, we run traditionally, we're going to run some spread stuff. We're going to at times go about as fast as we can go, and it starts with quarterback, and I coach that position. So it's tough on that guy, but I have to prepare him every day to be myself on that field on Friday night because our communication is just by signals. So, you know, I had the blessing of Walker Lott, transferred in from Briarwood early on, and we had the off season together, and we had spring training get together, and I can't say enough about the quality of person he is and how much he endures me getting on him and pushing him, and I know he gets tired of hearing it, but it's to get him to get over that edge and get him where he can play angry and play in a responsive mode, and he's getting better every week. And from there, we got to have a great running back, and Carlos Stevens and Frank Wakajumba are two. They're different backs, but they get along real well together, and we've got some good receivers. And then while we're winning right now is our defense is playing so good. And Sean's been with me. Sean DeFord's our defensive coordinator, and he's been with me everywhere I've been. And so they're playing great over there. T.J. Ram is a defensive lineman that we move up and down the line, and 2-time state heavyweight wrestling champion. I see no reason why he won't be a 3-time champion, and he's a champion. Of course, he comes from a championship background, and just a blessing to coach. And then, you know, we got Nick Mobley with me tonight. That if you're a coach, you get very few times to coach a kid like Nick Mobley. I mean, just very few times. And so the quality of the kids I've got at Thompson is off the charts. I love my kids as much as I've ever loved going to work in my life. I love going with these kids because they hang on to everything we ask them to do. They give us everything we got. And at the end of the day, it's all we can ask is that they give us everything, and they have.
Well, I tell you what, Coach, it's you play in a tough region, and every week when it comes to the region, it's going to be a challenge. But you look like you and your team are set for it. That this could be a special year at Thompson High School, and I know you're built in your background, and all you can do is ask for the best that they've got. And then if they give you that, nobody has to hang their head over anything.
That's right.
So you're off to a great start. 2-0 first region game. I think you got Spain Park coming
Yes,
up,
sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
And so I expect y'all to have the same type outings you've been having. I'll be seeing you later during the season, but wishing you and your team all the luck in the world, and awfully good to see you.
Thank you, Snapper.
Folks, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, visit 4 young men that's been very instrumental in the great start with Thompson High School. Land of Frost Premium is America's best-selling 1-pound deli pouch, now available in 12 delicious flavors, including new flavors of mesquite turkey and cotto salami. High school athletes across the country ask for Land of Frost by name. These great items are available at your local grocer, including Piggly Wiggly, Food Giant, Western supermarkets, and many more. Land of Frost also makes other varieties of lunch meats, including deli shaved bistro and sub sandwich kits. Land of Frost is a proud sponsor of youth sports as well.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. Now, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
And folks, welcome back. In this segment, as you can see, I've got 4 outstanding young athletes with me here from Thompson High School. Sitting closest to me, Carlos Stevens, a senior, running back. Next to him, Walker Lott, a senior, the quarterback. And standing next to me, this smaller gentleman, T.J. Rayham, senior, defensive lineman, or any kind of lineman he wants to be, I would think. Nick Mobley, a junior, and linebacker, right? All right, guys, as we start this segment off, the first thing that I will ask, and we'll talk with you first, Carlos. Talk about the transition from the coaches you've had to the new coaching staff, and has it been an easy transition or a hard one, or has it been rather smooth?
The transition from last year's coaching staff to this year's coaching staff, so it's like, it's not really a hard transition, but it's good, you know. Last year, I don't think the coaches really pushed us as hard as they really could or motivated us like the coaches we had this year. The coaches we have this year, I feel like they really want the best for us, and they really push us to strive for the best.
Okay. Now, Walker, I know you are a transfer from Briarwood, I think Coach said.
Yes,
Talk
sir.
about that. It's not only you moving to a new team, but a new school, so the transition's got to be a little bit different.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but it wasn't a hard transition, honestly. The guys here really made me feel like I was family. The moment I walked in, all the coaches are great. You know, even guys at Briarwood, they're very supportive of it. All my friends, you know, I didn't lose any friends or any support like that. I mean, it's been a great transition. Yeah, I love this team, and I love all the guys here, all the coaches, and I look forward every day to working with them.
Well, now I know being the quarterback on the offensive side of football, you're the man, okay? So what I want to know, tell me, is your strong suit throwing or running, or do you feel like you can do both of them well?
You know, I can do both. I think running's a good suit, and I'm getting better at passing every day, especially with Coach Freeman. He's constantly pushing me, and every day just aiming for perfection and just trying to get better.
Now, TJ, you're one of these kind of men that I wouldn't want to make mad. So what I want you to tell me is, coming from the season you've had last year, and I mean, and trust me, let me tell you, and I've told coaches this, and I'll tell athletes this. Sometimes the best lessons in life you learn are from losing. It's easy to be a winner, but if you lose, you gotta try to find a way to get to where you want to be, and you work harder. That's just human nature. So going into this year, has it really surprised you, the good, fast start that you guys have had, or does it not surprise you at all, considering your teammates and the ability they got?
No, sir, it hasn't surprised me at all. We've been working hard for the season that we're going to have.
Okay. And Nick, junior linebacker, what's the change in the coaching staff been like for you?
Just the finer details. Each step has to be pinpoint, or you got somebody yelling at you. The pressure is always on to be the best you can be.
Well, and if there's any such thing as good pressure, that's good pressure for an athlete. All the coach, and I've talked to many coaches through the years, all they want is the best you have to offer. And if you give them that, win or lose, you don't have to hang your head about anything. But y'all are finding out there's a fine line between losing and winning. And now you're experiencing that winning side. It feels pretty good, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
All right, one thing I always like to know too, and we'll start with you, Carlos, being a running back, who's your favorite collegiate or professional running back that you think, boy, this is the way, that's the player I want to be like one day?
Amir Abdullah.
Who?
Amir Abdullah.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Versatile athlete, right?
Yes, sir.
And is he the one that was from Homewood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's right. He had a great career there and then at Nebraska.
Yes,
and who is he playing with now?
The Lions.
Yeah, okay. All right, how about you?
I really like to watch Peyton Manning
Yeah.
and just his passing style and the way he's comfortable in the pocket. He's a great leader everywhere he's been, and just knows the offense front and back.
Right. When you make a good point, Walker. One thing that I would like to ask you, that Peyton probably has done more book work than anybody's ever done. Are you one of these that you pay attention to detail?
I try to be as detail oriented as I can. Naturally, not everyone's as detail oriented as some, but I try for perfection every day, and I know Coach Freeman really pushes that, and everything is detail. You don't want to overlook something that's big, so you try to catch every little thing.
Right. How about you, TJ?
My favorite player, I'd have to say DeMarcus Ware.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is it that stands out? I know he's big, fast, strong, and quick, and plays his position well. What is it about him that makes you think that that's the kind of player I'd like to be like?
His pass rush moves.
Really?
Yes, sir.
So a lot of times that's the difference between a big sack and maybe a long gain or a breakdown by one of the other players. So you're right. Nick, how about you?
I say the linebacker Luke Kuechly. He's very instinctual. Just plays with some great passion. Like to emulate it.
Well, I tell you, I think that most athletes, you got to have that passion to be the best that you can be. One thing that I have found that has really helped teams through the years, and it's either a positive thing or a negative thing, is team chemistry. Talk about that a little bit. Walker, I know you're the leader on offense, the team chemistry. Here's the thing about it. If you've got good team chemistry, it doesn't mean you won't have squabbling with one another, but if you like each other and you're going to try your very best to be the best you can be as an individual, you get better as an individual, you're going to get better as a team. So talk about that.
I think we have great team chemistry. I know I've heard from them telling me last year that it wasn't like it used to be like this. I heard last year it was, there'd be fights and things like that. But this year, everyone loves each other. It's not just offense versus defense. It's a whole team atmosphere. And, there are, things that go on the field every now and then, but that's when everyone's giving it their all and they're going 100%. And, it's just, it's team. It's not just individual now, and everyone works together.
Nick, are you one of these players, and I have players telling me both ways, are you one of these guys that you enjoy playing at home before that home crowd, or would you rather go on the road where a lot of players tell me they play freer because they feel like there's not as much pressure in front of the home crowd?
Anyway, it doesn't really matter to me because either way, it's just another opportunity to have fun.
Fun, yeah. No, when you that's a good way to put it because football is contact sometimes is anything but fun, but that's what it's all about, right? How about you, TJ? Do you prefer playing at home or away, or does it matter?
I like playing away better.
Do you?
Yes, sir.
You know what? I bet you realize this, and this is what makes me think about that. The best way to quiet a hostile home crowd is shut them down, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Then all of a sudden it's like you're not on the road no more. There's no fear there, right? How about you, Carlos? Do you enjoy playing at home or on the road?
I enjoy both of them, home or away.
Well, I think that's sort of the attitude you have to have. And I believe most players feel that way, but it's still sort of funny that some of them would say, yeah, I prefer playing away for whatever reason. Well, guys, talk about one thing I'd like to find out, and we'll start with you, Carlos, is what is the thing you like most about football, your football experience, and what's the thing you like the least?
The thing I like the most about football is the contact. I like contact.
You like contact, and what's the least you like about it?
The least I liked about football, it's hard to answer. I just like it.
Oh, okay. How about you, Walker?
I love the brotherhood that you get and the unity that everyone builds, and getting out there day after day and getting closer and getting to work hard for it. And it's fun. Everything about it's fun. I don't really have anything that I don't like about it.
Well, that's a nice thing to say.
Yes, sir.
The drudgery of practice, none of that, it just doesn't matter. You just like
I try to come and practice every day just with the attitude that I'm going to do great and I'm going to get better today. You know, I don't want to stay where I am. I want every practice to be another barrier, another thing that I go through.
Good, good. How about you, TJ?
My favorite part about football would probably be eating double teams and watching linebackers make the tackle. I mean, the fans don't know, but I did my job, and it just makes me feel good about it.
What do you dislike about it?
I don't think I dislike anything about it.
Well, then if you don't, then I'm going to take your word for it. You like it all. How about you, Nick?
I like the hunt of like just find whoever has the ball and go and get them. Just like that the most. So I play the position.
Well, let me ask you this, guys, and boy, the time flies. We only got a couple of minutes, and we'll start with you, Carlos. Which team on your schedule do you look forward to playing the most, or is there a rival game you enjoy more than another?
Well, I look really forward to playing Hoover because a lot of people think Hoover's going to beat us, but I feel in my heart that we worked hard enough and we're going to prove people wrong.
Well, good. How about you, Walker?
I look forward to Hoover. I look forward to all of them. I know when I was at Briarwood, our rival was Chelsea.
Right.
And so I look forward to that game, even though it's not an area game. You know, it's just any team that we can play is always a good game.
Okay, TJ, how about you?
I look forward to all of them. I treat them all the same.
Yeah, just line them up and knock them out, right? Okay. What you, Nick?
Same as TJ, just one step at a time. Next game up is the most important to me.
Right. Well, guys, one question I want to make sure we get in here, and that is to this place in your young life, who's been the most inspirational person or persons? And we'll start with you, Carlos.
I would say my father, my mother.
Okay, father and mother. How about you, Walker?
Definitely my parents and my brother and sister.
Okay, TJ?
My family, my coaches.
Nick?
I would say my family, my mom and dad, teach me how not to be so serious about life.
Really?
Because the sun's gonna rise and come up, so just live.
Well, I tell you what, guys, y'all are off to a great start. Got your first region game coming up Friday night. I don't see any reason why you can't keep them W's coming to y'all.
Sir.
Okay, well, listen, good luck to y'all the rest of the season, and thanks for coming up, okay?
Thank you.
Folks, until we see you again, you know what the snapper always says, bicycle.